right, here we go, guys. We're going to keep practicing decomposing or distributive property. So remember, that means that we are taking a larger array and then we are breaking it into two smaller arrays so that we can write a new equation. So this is the same example slide from the other day, except that we now have parentheses down here in our equation. I briefly showed you, if you were at school on Tuesday, how writing the equation, we have to use these parentheses, which also some people call whisper hands, because if you are solving this, you would want to solve the 2 times 6 together and keep it together, and the other 2 times 6 to make sure that it is going to end up being the same answer that 4 times 6 would be. Also, if you were at school, you remember that we noticed that the 4 is what was actually broken up into 2 2's because 2 plus 2 is 4, but the 6 remained the same. So on the next slide, I also have another way of splitting up the array. Instead of doing 2 times 6 and 2 times 6, I could also do the red line here and have a 1 by 6 and a 3 by 6. So if I take a look down here, then you can see that there is a new equation, a 1 by 6 plus a 3 by 6. And that would equal the same as 4 by 6 because, again, 3 and 1 is 4. So today, when you do this, you only have 2 practice problems. But what I'm going to have you do is you're going to look at the large array. You're going to label those dimensions first and write the equation for the large array. But then you're going to take it and you're going to split it up. You're going to move the red line. You're going to split it up. And you're going to label your new dimensions by moving these boxes and putting numbers. Okay? And then after you do that, I'm moving myself rather than the question mark box. After you've labeled the new dimensions, then you're going to write your equations down here. What's this new equation and this one? But then you go to the next slide, and it's the same array one more time, and you're going to actually move the red line in a different way. The key word is different. And then you'll move the question marks, and you'll label the new dimensions again, and you'll write, you will write the new equation one more time in the 2 yellow boxes. So what you're doing is practicing, you're decomposing an array and you're writing 2 new equations, but you have to do it 2 different ways. So you've got this array to do it with, and then when you scroll down, you'll see that I give you a different one, and you're going to do it 2 different ways, and then there's a challenge question at the last slide. The challenge question is challenging you to see if you could break up a larger equation, 8 times 3, without having the array picture. But don't be afraid that if you need to grab paper or a whiteboard, that you could draw an 8 by 3 and split it on your paper or your whiteboard. There is no shame in that. But this is also a challenge to see if you could think about it without the array. Take your time. Remember, if there's a question mark, it's supposed to have an answer. Do not turn this in. If you are having technical difficulties, don't turn it in. Wait, tell me on Zoom, or take a picture of paper, but don't turn it in with nothing. You got this. Decompose.